Right, it's literally just dropped into our hands, so let's get straight to the breaking news. Thomas Tuchel has just named his very first England squad.
And Rob Dorset is at Wembley for us. Rob, what are the key headlines? I'm sure you're scouring those names super quickly.
That's exactly what we're doing, Gail. Look, let's deal with the headlines and the stuff that we've been talking about for the last couple of days, because we suggested that Marcus Rashford maybe returns to the England fold after 12 months away. Last game he played for England was in March of last year against Brazil in the 1-0 defeat. Ostracised, exiled largely by Manchester United and by England since then, but under a new lease of life at Aston Villa on loan, he returns to this England squad, this first England squad under Thomas Tuchel. Miles Lewis-Skelly we've been talking about for the last couple of days. I said I expected him to come in, especially with England's dearth of left-back options. He is in. The teenager called up to England's senior squad for the first time, a massive moment for him. Bear in mind he's never played for England's under-21s, never been called up by England's under-21s before, so he skipped that and comes straight into Thomas Tuchel's senior squad for the first time. And one other huge headline, which nobody's been talking about over the last couple of days, a return to this men's England senior squad for Jordan Henderson. Forgotten about by a lot of people in this country, of course, because he's playing his football for Ajax. But we know that Thomas Tuchel has been over to look at him. He's clearly been impressed by what he's seen. And Jordan Henderson is back in the England squad to bolster those midfield options. That's a really interesting one, because we've talked a lot in the last couple of days about Thomas Tuchel wanting to win the World Cup. That's his only mission. It's his only task. And so would he be interested in blooding many youngsters? Probably only if they were available and able to play for him right now. Does he have any interest in bringing young players through for the future? Not really, because that may well not be on his watch. So he's gone to the old guard in Jordan Henderson, who returns to this England side, as does Kyle Walker, another man who has left the Premier League temporarily, performing well for AC Milan. We know that Tuchel's spoken to him and been over to see him in Milan. He's back in this England squad as well. So let me run through what we've got in full for you. 4 goalkeepers that Thomas Tuchel has chosen in Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, the first choice, Aaron Ramsdale and James Trafford, who is the clean sheet goal machine in the lower divisions, and one for the future there, you have to say. I think he's had 25 clean sheets so far. Never seen an England manager pick 4 goalkeepers before. What does that say about what he's thinking about Jordan Pickford's understudy? Maybe he's not certain who he wants England's number 2 choice goalkeeper to be. Let's look at the defenders in this squad. We talked about Dan Burn, didn't we? The Newcastle centre-back. In the absence of Harry Maguire, who isn't in this squad because of injury, Dan Burn gets his chance alongside Levi Colwill, Mark Gay, Reece James returning to the England fold as well. We know England have got problems at right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold is injured right now, and of course Reece James, a man who knows Thomas Tuchel very well from his time at Chelsea, so that's to be a very, very welcome return for Reece James into the England squad. Ezri Konsa, Miles Lewis-Skelly we've mentioned, Tino Livramento, who I think a lot of people have spoken about and will have a good chance of getting some game time against Albania and Latvia. Then you've got Jarrell Quansah and Kyle Walker. In the midfield, expected, Jude Bellingham, Eberici Eze, Jordan Henderson, which is an extraordinary story, Curtis Jones, Cole Palmer, Declan Rice and Morgan Rogers, the Aston Villa midfielder who's been in outstanding form for Aston Villa this season. He's rewarded with a call-up to the first team under Thomas Tuchel. And then up front, we wondered whether there might be an outside chance of Liam Delap getting a nod. No, it's Dominic Solanke that Thomas Tuchel has gone for instead. So you've got Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, Dominic Solanke, Anthony Gordon, Phil Foden and Jared Bowen. Some interesting notable omissions, of course. No Jack Grealish and other people that we'll go through in due course as well. But a lot of surprises in that England squad. What do we read into that? I think we read that Thomas Tuchel wants some of the old stages, wants the experience in this England squad. We've got Jordan Henderson back in there. We've got Kyle Walker. We've got Ollie Watkins, who isn't in there. And that's a real surprise. We fully expected Ollie Watkins to be in this England squad. He is not in there. In fact, there are only 2 strikers in Harry Kane and Dominic Solanke. What does that tell you? Is Ollie Watkins not going to be part of Thomas Tuchel's plans going forward? Still going through all of this as we're digesting it. We'll do more for you over the coming hours. We'll hear from Thomas Tuchel at 11 o'clock. And we've got some really interesting questions, some key questions for him, haven't we? But let's just remind you of those headlines as we see them. 4 goalkeepers in this England squad, but a lot of experience as well in the returning Jordan Henderson, the returning Marcus Rashford, the absence of Ollie Watkins, the inclusion of Dan Burn from Newcastle, and probably the biggest headline for me, a first senior call-up for the teenage Arsenal left-back Miles Lewis-Skelly. What a day for him.
Yeah, thanks, Rob. What a day for him. What a season it has been for him. And we're speaking to Mikel Arteta a little bit later, so it'll be interesting to hear his reaction as well.